कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की
In the news tonight, PM encourages rice farming. Poor response to vaccination registration. And Rahman to know his fate in 2 weeks.
From the studios of FBC Suba, Edwin Nunn.
Wulawinaka, Fiji. Prime Minister Voringem Bainimarama is hoping that more Fijians turn to rice farming to help them during the severe economic impact of COVID-19. While commissioning the communal rice farming scheme in Bavu village, Nandi, Bainimarama revealed that domestic crops supply a mere 13% of rice sold in Fiji. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Fiji produced 5,748 tons of rice last year, and the Prime Minister says this represents opportunity for more rice farmers.
On average, we import 40,000 tons of rice into Fiji every year. That's about $40 million worth of rice grown in places like Southeast Asia that ends up in the dinner tables of Fijian families. And our national appetite for rice is steadily increasing.
The Bavu Communal Rice Scheme, the Prime Minister says, is a first-of-its-kind initiative to help farmers cash in on the growing demand for rice.
There are 10,500 hectares, I understand, in the surrounding area here in Bavu that we would like to target through this initiative under the next 2 cropping seasons. Over time, we will be providing farmers with access to mechanized tools as well as regular checkups to ensure farms are progressing well.
The villagers of Bavu are excited to be part of this program, promising to plant as much rice possible.
It's a big relief for us because it took us only 3 months to just prepare the land, plant the rice, and we harvest it straight after the 3 months.
They were also reminded that if they cultivate 1 acre or more of rice, farmers will receive a $200 grant. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
And Felipe joins us live from Nandi. Felipe, the Prime Minister held a Talanoa session with farmers as well. What were some of the issues discussed?
Edwin, just before the Talanoa session kicked off at Bavu village today, the Prime Minister told the villagers that interacting with Fijians at events was one of his favorite times because he gets to get first-hand information from the ground. It's also when Fijians raise issues and concerns directly with him that he can also look into it immediately. And that's exactly what happened today at the village during the Talanoa session. The villagers had raised concerns regarding water, electricity, transportation, land, and among other things. Also, whenever the PM goes on tour, there's a dedicated team from the different ministries that travel with him. They provide updates, they also provide queries and answer questions from Fijians. Also, before he ended the Talanoa session at the village today, he reminded the villagers to register for the vaccination program, especially when the health officials come around.
Naka Felipe. And speaking of registration, numbers for the COVID-19 vaccination registration aren't quite what the Health Ministry is hoping for. Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says officials visiting communities are seeing very poor responses. Medical teams have been canvassing Fiji to register people, but the reception has been less than welcome.
A group of people went to South South. They spent about half a day in South South trying to do vaccination. They only got 10 people. There have been efforts up at Nosori. They set up every day, almost every day, they set up a booth somewhere in Nosori. Everybody says bad things to them.
Dr. Fong says the ministry has been pleading with Fijians to register for the vaccine, but it's been a struggle.
At the very least, listen to the science.
I know everybody wants to see those borders opened, but before that, we need to protect our people.
More than 12,000 people have entered Fiji under COVID-19 protocols since last March.
Every day, there are flights coming through the Nandi airport. And if you see the Silver Wharf every day, you'll see the ships coming in every day. You've got the merchant ships, you've got the fishing vessels, you've got the oil tankers that are coming through. So
April 19th will mark a year with zero community transmissions of COVID-19 in Fiji. Convicted felon Ben Padarat's case has been transferred to the Lautoka Anti-Corruption Court. Padarat appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this morning, charged with sedition, attempting to defeat the course of justice, destroying evidence and disobedience of lawful order. The court ruled the alleged offences were committed in Lautoka and fall under their jurisdiction. Apanisa Wangairandovu has more.
Padarat has been charged by the Fiji Independent Commission against corruption. It is alleged that on or about March 28th, Padarat acted with seditious intention or uttered seditious words by posting information pertaining to an ongoing FICAC investigation on Facebook with the intention to bring hatred or excite disaffection against the administration of justice. Padarat also allegedly attempted to defeat the cause of justice by posting information about the ongoing investigation. It's alleged he destroyed his mobile phone knowing it might later be required as evidence, and 3 days later disobeyed a lawful search warrant. He has been further remanded in custody and a bail ruling will be made next week. Padarat has pleaded not guilty to the charges and has been transferred to Natambua Remand Center in Lautoka. Apinisong Grandobu, FBC News.
The Suva High Court will deliver its judgment in the case of Joshua Aziz Rahman, who is facing one count of unlawful possession of illicit drugs on April 12th. The Canadian national's multi-million-dollar drug trial continued today, with prosecution insisting Rahman was aware of the 39 bars of cocaine found in his father's room in their closing submission. The prosecution claimed that Rahman had knowledge of the drugs in the house and, together with his father, was in control of the premises. Kurovo Tandulala reports the prosecution also claimed that Rahman and his father kept this a secret.
In their submission, the prosecution claimed that Rahman was indeed released on time and was not detained for more than 48 hours. However, the defense argued that Rahman was arrested on the night of February 12, 2019 and was not released within the 48-hour period. They also argued that Rahman was not released and rearrested as police claimed. The defense also asked the court to exclude certain exhibits provided by the prosecution as they were not legally obtained, especially the pictures taken during a covert surveillance by police. The defense lawyer also told the court that Rahman stayed in the Dombati home as a guest in his father's house. Rahman has testified that he was not in control of the premises and had no knowledge of the drugs in the house. The defense also argued that the case against Joshua Rahman is mainly based on circumstantial evidence. The case will be called again on April 12th. Kurovo Tandulala, FBC News.
Up ahead, former ministry staff faces corruption charges. A new book to protect children in court.
मैं टोटली दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Welcome back. A former employee of the Ministry of Education was produced in the Anti-Corruption Court this morning, facing 58 charges. Rahul Ravikash Kumar allegedly laundered over $340,000 from the ministry's account to his personal account between 2017 and 2018. The accused is charged with one count of obtaining financial advantage by deception, one count of unauthorized modification of data, and 56 counts of money laundering. Kumar was released on strict bail conditions, including a bond of $10,000 and 2 sureties. His travel documents were seized by the court. The case has been adjourned to May 11th. Children who are victims of sexual abuse or other crimes, or who've been witness to a crime, or accused persons in a crime will now have appropriate protection when appearing in court. The Fiji Judicial Department launched a bench book for children yesterday to guide judges and magistrates on how to deal with children in criminal proceedings. Pranita Prakash reports.
Judges and magistrates can now create a comfortable environment for children who will be giving evidence in the courtroom.
Any court process, in particular criminal cases, obviously we all know, can be quite intimidating, not only the children, to any person, even to adults too. It is therefore imperative that children are given adequate protection to ensure they do not feel intimidated or vulnerable when giving evidence or when they are defending themselves.
With this child bench book, we hope that judges and magistrates will have a better understanding of children's needs in developing abilities and will be better able to support children to effectively participate and give their best evidence in court proceedings.
Acting Chief Justice Kamal Kumar says the judiciary is mindful that everyone, irrespective of their status, has a right to access justice.
We must ensure that all parties, including children, are treated fairly, irrespective of sex, religion, ethnicity, culture, or similar reason, including age.
The bench book for children, developed with assistance from UNICEF, will guide judges and magistrates in family and civil proceedings in terms of custody, guardianship, maintenance, care and protection. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Dance groups will be showcasing their talent at the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation's Mirchi FM Radio Fiji 2 non-stop Holi Masti celebration at Damodar City in Suva on Saturday. Mirchi FM Behal Breakfast Show host Ziad Pervez says this will be a platform for less-known talent groups to show what they can do best. He says such groups will be in the limelight during the Holi Masti event.
Some of them you'll be seeing for the very first or second time because these are, small-time dance groups that we wanted to give a platform to. For example, Jaw Droppers, Desi Divas, you've got the Team Jokers and Chum Chum dance groups. So it's going to be really something special.
And Fijian Broadcasting Corporation staff were out early this morning to distribute hot cross buns. The traditional sweet buns were distributed at major traffic intersections in the Central Division as well as in Lambasa and Nandi. FBC sales representative Elena Tukuasa says this is a commitment the company undertook to showcase the reason behind Easter. She says the message is love and unity.
Easter is all about the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and that portrayed the love that he had for us. So in a way, overall, what FBC is trying to do here is to demonstrate our love, and that's how we share it with the communities and our families as well. And this is how we do it. So we go out and we just give out buns and just to show how much we appreciate.
And now we join Whitney for tonight's business report.
Thanks, Edwin. Coming up in business tonight, Easter buns in demand. And leases acquired for Kurovo Town extension. Stay with us.
Bula, alang gonoa, ilutoka, lutalita ka ng Bula FM, berarti number 2 NSR.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
It's that time of the year when people from all walks like to indulge in hot cross buns. This year is turning out to be quite fruitful for the bakers, as there seems to have been an increase in demand. With the COVID-19 lockdown in 2020, the cravings seem to have doubled a year on.
The demand for hot cross buns never seems to cease, but this year it has definitely gone up a notch.
Well, I believe last year our buns was a bit slow and sales was a bit down because of the pandemic. And this year we are a bit picking up from orders from our customers and our officers around, and as we see our sales to it has improved a lot.
As we know that close to Easter we have a lockdown. Especially in Suva and also from Lotoka. People cut costs with budget. We didn't get enough people to come across just to come and buy bun.
For one of Suva's finest hotels, the Grand Pacific Hotel, they have also noticed the demand curve moving upwards.
During lockdown, because of COVID, we didn't have as much sales and demand as we do this year, which we're very grateful for.
Come Easter, it is a must for many to have hot cross buns, even though it does not have much relation to the actual reason of Easter. Jeshulal, FBC News.
The partnership between technology and society can build a better future for a more inclusive and resilient society, says Vodafone Fiji. Keeping this in mind, the company has repositioned its branding with a new tagline, "Together We Can." Chief Marketing Officer Rajneesh Prasad says with COVID-19 pandemic, connectivity through mobile technology has been the ultimate savior and a lifeline for the world, keeping people employed as they worked from home. He says technology also kept people socially engaged through the various online platforms while being in physical lockdowns.
Because it is now more about connecting our people and technologies together, which will help us to grow and sustain ourselves in the future. So that's the reason why I said, okay, it's time we look at the situation, look at the current impacts of the pandemic across the globe, and come up with something that is relevant to the people and how we can and help our people through the use of technology.
The new brand positioning comes into effect globally from today. Sinifa from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the money market.
Bula, Australia's trade balance for February eased from the 9.7 billion forecast to 7.5 billion, whereas retail sales shrank less by negative 0.8% during the stated period. While currency trading is expected to slow through Easter in many parts of the world, the US dollar held near a multi-month high against other major currencies. Investors believe fiscal stimulus and aggressive vaccinations will help the US grow faster than other economies. The greenback's gains came as the euro suffers from concerns the eurozone's economic recovery is being hampered by a third wave of COVID-19 infections. Economists expect Friday's job data to show an increase of about 650,000 in March, while the latest chatter in the market is it could swing higher and even top 1 million. That's a wrap from your HFC Bank for this week. Have a blessed Easter weekend.
Here are the local exchange rates as set early this morning. As the coming Easter weekend affected the world's money markets, the Fiji dollar slid slightly against most of the currencies we cover, but did show gains against the New Zealand dollar and the Japanese yen. On the commodities market, the price of crude oil dropped a few cents, but remains above $59 per barrel. Gold rose strongly to $1,711 per ounce, and silver closed up at $24.36 an ounce. Two leases have been acquired by the Ministry of Local Government to facilitate the Kurovo Town Centre extension. One is the 10-acre site adjacent to the market and the other a 40-acre site, which will be used to extend the existing Kurovo Trading Centre. Speaking at the stakeholder workshop and consultation, Minister Pramila Kumar highlighted this is a part of the government's urban policy action plan. Kumar says Kurovo is also part of the government's 5-year and 20-year national development plan. She adds Kurovo has land readily available to allow extensions and development, and in a tax-free zone as well.
There is a need for a taxi stand as well as a mini bus and bus stand. We also need a bigger commercial center. We also want to have a recreation center, and also we would like to have the public amenities. We would like to see some high residential apartments being developed.
And that's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Thank you and good evening. Ahead in sports, Northland up the ante for Skipper Cup. And boost for Coca-Cola Games champs. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Ini from Raki Raki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Returning to the Skipper Cup after a lapse of 2 years will not be an easy journey for the Northland rugby team. The side has worked hard to earn its place back in the top tier again and has its fingers crossed on maintaining the position. Tale Materakula reports.
The players familiarizing themselves with top-level rugby.
Even though we came from one World Cup last year, but this is Skipper. We know the atmosphere, we know the expectation of the fans, and the players to know what to do come next week.
The pre-season clashes have uncovered some weaknesses.
We will work on our some of food packs, especially our lineup, scrum, and defense.
The youngest in the squad, Moses Madawa, has high hopes making his first Skipper Cup appearance.
I think it's all about hard work, dedication, commitment. You know, if you have those and you don't have talent, you can beat talent. With hard work and dedication, you can beat talent.
The Isake Katonimbao coached side is taking each game as it comes, and first on the list is the home game against Neita Siri in the season opener next weekend. Talima Terkula, FBC Sports.
The inaugural Fiji Beta Malacca Sevens was launched today. The three-day tournament is scheduled from the 26th to the 28th of August. Paradise Beverages, who is the main sponsor, backing the event to the sum of $10,000. Sales and Marketing Manager Joe Roden says the support will help uncover some of the untapped talent in the Ra province.
By taking the sponsorship to Ra, we'll be able to identify a lot of raw talents that's there in Ra, right? And hopefully by organizing and sponsoring this tournament that we will get those raw talents that will come out and also contribute positively to the Fiji team.
Defending Coca-Cola Games boys champion Ratukandabu Levu School received a timely boost to its preparations for this year's Fiji finals. The school has once again struck a partnership deal with JAXA Fiji. They will be the official merchandise sponsor for RKS Athletics and Rugby. RKS Sports Committee Chair Penny Senikarawa says the sponsorship lifted spirits ahead of the exciting sports season.
This partnership provides a platform for the school to implement its sports program, which is geared towards promoting wellness and educating the young minds on good moral values, which is a challenge at a time where the right of a child is supreme.
In the last 3 years, we have achieved success in sports, and that is where our key partnership lies in terms of looking after our RKS sports community.
Playing in the Premier League has been the ultimate goal of 17-year-old Reinald Chand, but the youngster knows to reach the big league, he will need to start small, so he's opted to play for the Northland Tai Levu futsal team. Karlaini Tavi has more.
Being the youngest, Reinald Chand says he is grateful to play in the Digital Futsal League Southern Zone.
It was always my dream to play in Premier League, and I'm fortunate to play for the district, and they always give me opportunity at this age, and I'm so happy, I'm proud of it.
Like any football fanatic, Chand knows the road ahead will get tougher.
Yeah, it's getting tougher, but I think I'll reach that level because at this age I'm getting experience from all levels of soccer.
For Chand and the Northland Tai Levu side, more areas still need improvement before the second round of the Futsal League.
The areas that we are not finishing, we go to the goal, but we don't finish the goals, and that is the only part to which we are lacking.
Chand is hoping to leave Northland Tai Levu's ranking in the Digital Futsal League Southern Zone competition. The team is bottom placed with 3 points. Karleni Tavi, FBC Sports.
Defending champions of the Digital Muslim Inter-District Championship, Maingania got off to a perfect start, winning their first game of the tournament. Maingania edging Sembeto 1-0 at Prince Charles Park in Nandi last night. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Locked 0-0 after the first half, the defending champs needed to find a spark in order to lay the platform for their campaign.
And it was in our game plan. We stick to our game plan, and the boys did the job. I'd like to thank our management, the coach.
It wasn't until midway into the second half that the Nandi Backroad-based team broke the deadlock. The win was crucial, as for any tournament, the first game is always the hardest.
Good start with the boys, and I hope we continue like this throughout the tournament. And I wish all the best to our boys for the next game, and may the best team win.
The tournament wasn't held last year due to the pandemic. However, the organizers are happy they're able to host it this year.
Yeah, we're hoping for a good turnout. It's an Easter weekend, so we would like fans to come and enjoy the matches. We've got some very good players, district and national reps.
The Muslim IDC will have a break today and resumes tomorrow with the finals on Sunday. Philip and Ikaso, FBC Sports.
Former national cricket reps are being praised for giving back to the sport. A Masters team is part of the Easter Cup Championship being played at Albert Park, and the former stars have not disappointed spectators with their skills. Players part of the Masters team who have donned the national jumper include Ratu Meli Saumbuliniao, Choli Matayawa and Greg Brown, to name a few. Matayawa, who is also Cricket Fiji's Senior Development Officer, says they are glad to be part of the competition.
Can show the younger players are coming up how they can play cricket in the national level. We are happy that we have some quality players that play in the previous years, that in the 80s and 90s, playing in the Masters.
Warriors coach Nathan Brown isn't a fan of the NRL's new 18th man rule, which comes into effect next weekend. The new rule allows for an 18th squad member who can only be used as a substitute if 3 teammates fail concussion tests. However, Brown is not the only one left head-scratching by the changes. In play of the day, world number 2 Naomi Osaka's 23-match winning run came to an abrupt end as she lost to Maria Sakkari in the Miami Open quarterfinals. Osaka was stunned by the Greek 23rd seed's aggressive start, making 12 unforced errors and not landing one winner in a 21-minute opening set. That's it from Sports Tonight. In new media, Spotify buys a live audio app, Locker Room. Find out more after the break.
Mulai here, Tavwa, we love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. In new media, Spotify has acquired Betty Labs, the company behind sports-focused audio app Locker Room, to accelerate its move into live audio and add that to its push into podcasts. And now to Angie with tonight's weather.
A big hello to you and welcome to the Weather World. Are you excited for the upcoming long Easter holidays? Well, I'm pretty sure you are. Considering the weather, I bet you have made so many plans, but we'll see how it turns out in a while. But first, let's see the other centers. The Western Division had nice warm sunny spells, the kind where you would definitely be at the beach. Eastwards from Pekkabaratsuva, few showers popped up after a humid day. And up north, a wonderful one with brief showers. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Now turning to the tides, high tide at 9:14 p.m. with low tide at 3:34 a.m. Sunrise at 6:16. For tomorrow, light showers will be surrounding us on Good Friday, which means there is high possibility of heavy showers. That doesn't sound very well, does it? Tomorrow's temps, all centers will be nice temps. And looking further on to Saturday, there we go again. More showers for the country, but don't worry, at least there is more time for our loved ones. With that, have a wonderful long Easter weekend. Be safe and take care. It's back to Edwin.
Thanks, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we ask, what is the significance of hot cross buns to Easter?
Meaning of cross bun to us is rather remembrance of Jesus Christ came and died at the cross.
Easter bun, it signifies Easter.
And the significance of hot cross bun, to me in Fiji, is it's like a tradition.
The hot cross bun, why it's very important to us for this Easter because of the cross on top of the bun, which signifies the Jesus Christ.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, 2 rock climbers decided to show off their skills on a hot air balloon. And recapping our main stories, Prime Minister encourages rice farming, poor response to vaccination registration, and Rahman to know his fate in 2 weeks. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, should national teams be allowed to participate in domestic sevens tournaments? Visit our FBC News website to answer. And on to our shot of the day, some of the common items seen in town as we mark Easter. These were captured by the FBC News online team. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our various social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. That's your news this evening. I'll be back again next week. Until then, have yourself a happy Easter. Stay safe and Motemanda.
Hi, I'm Osaka and I'm from Osaka and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.